Hi, welcome to Testimony Tuesday, and today we have Aniya, and Aniya is coming to share her story about how she met Jesus. So, Aniya, please will you just introduce yourself, just tell people where you're from and a little bit about you, how old you are, those sorts of things?
Okay, hello, I'm Aniya. I'm from Philadelphia, PA. Let me see. I'm 26 years old. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of four, and I'm a follower of Jesus Christ.
Cool, cool. So tell us, Anaya, like if you take us right back to the beginning, your life, how did it look before you met Jesus? Like a bit about your childhood, and then basically just leading up. How did it happen? How did you meet Jesus, and how did your life change?
Okay. So before I met Jesus, I grew up. Well, my mother and my father were together for 19 years, and I was the only child for 13. And growing up in my household, I grew up with my mother doing everything in the household, and my father, he was mostly into the streets, just doing bad things. He liked to fast money and cars and stuff like that. He was very materialistic, and but that's how I grew up. Let me see. My childhood, I was free. Like, when I hit a teenager, I was able to do whatever I wanted to do. I told my mom, I didn't even have to tell my mom I didn't want to go to school. I just, 10th grade, I just stopped going. I never made the rules was never enforced on me as a child.
Mm.
And that was one of the reasons why, I just did whatever I wanted to do. So, okay, my testimony ties into I have a husband, well, married, my husband now. We met when I was we met when I was 15 and he was 17. And how we met, I was on a subway, on the train station with my best friend, and I seen this guy. And my friend was like, he was good. You should talk to him. And I was like, I don't want to talk to no guys at this moment. So what happened was, you won't believe it. Probably about 5 hours later, because I went all the way to my aunt's house, and then I came back, and we were at like this train station called Frankfurt Terminal. And my friend said, let's go into this McDonald's and get some McDonald's. And I was like, we eat McDonald's all the time. And she's like, I'll pay for you. And I was like, okay, so I go into the McDonald's, and I see my husband there. It was crazy. So I said, I have to get his number. So, we talked from the age I was 15 until I was 19 years old. And I was 18 and he was turning 20. But we had stopped talking, and he was looking for God. He actually became a Muslim. And I told him he wanted me to take Shahada, and I said, I'm not going to take Shahada because, like, my family, my background, my mom's side, we grew up as Moors. And I always said that I'm not a Moor. I always looked at Jesus as my God, but I was like, I never knew anything about him.
A
I just,
more?
everybody,
Sorry,
huh?
a more?
Yes, a Moor, like I can't even tell you what it is. They just believe in Allah. Like, I can't even get into details of what it's about. Like, I
Okay.
really never know. I never knew what it was, and that's probably one of the reasons why I never even followed it.
So is
But
that kind of like an offshoot of Islam?
yes, they just it's so hard to explain them. They call themselves the Black Moors. To say,
Okay.
I don't really get
Okay. Yeah,
nothing
fair enough.
about it. But so he was looking to become a Muslim, and I wasn't, and we ended up stopped talking. We wasn't talking anymore. And when I wasn't talking to her, I ended up getting into a relationship which was abusive.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm sorry.
we would fight all the time. I was doing basically everything that I seen my mother be, and I said I would never be. I ended up being that in that relationship.
Mm.
I wound up filling out, and I'm just giving out things. I used to wind up filling out job applications for this guy. He would get interviews and he never would get the job. He was very bad for me. I never drunk, drink, alcohol or anything. But when I got with him, I started drinking. I started smoking. Um, I started cursing a lot. My whole tone switched up. I viewed everything negative, in a negative way. And it was because of the person I was with. Now, I ended up getting pregnant um, by this man. And I tried to get an abortion. And I made appointments. to get an abortion, and it never would work. Something always came up. But I remember the very first time I was thinking of, well, I was going to an orientation to get an abortion because they make you watch a video before you actually can get it. You know how you wash the sheet and you in the dark, like you dry them and you see the static. I call it static shock. But
Okay.
that I seen it and I really couldn't explain it. But me seeing it, I said to him, I said, it's a God, and I was like, I can't get rid of this baby. But I had my mom in my ear, like, you need to go to college, you need to do this, you need to do that, you haven't done this yet. You have goals, you have your whole life ahead of you, you need to live before you have a baby. And I had a whole bunch of people in my ear saying I need to get an abortion. So I made another appointment. And I didn't really feel anything for the baby. I didn't feel like I wanted the baby, and I didn't really feel like I didn't want the baby. I was kind of unsure. So I ended up going to the appointment, and they made me talk to a counselor. Before you do it, they make you talk to somebody. They ask you questions to make sure nobody's not forcing you to do it. And I just bust out crying. I don't know where the tears came from, but she asked me, she said, what are you crying for? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know. And she was like, look, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but leave, get out of here, and don't come back because this is not what you want. So I left, and I called my mom on the phone. I told my mom, I said, Mama, my life is about to change. I am not getting an abortion. I'm going to keep this baby.
Wow.
And the whole time, I kept telling people, it's a God, it's a God. I can't explain it. It's a God. And I kept getting urges to go into a church. But I always thought if I go into a church, they might not accept me. Because, I was thinking like they might not know me. They might be looking at me like, who is her? And, the whole thing where they make you stand up and introduce who you are, come to the front. And I don't like that. I'm very shy. Well, I was very shy. So that wasn't me. But the calling was, when God came for me, it was, everything was going on. Like my parents split up, and like our house was going for foreclosure, and my mom moved in with another guy, and my dad with my grandma, and that left me homeless. I didn't have nowhere to stay. I was living between this abusive relationship and my aunt house, and I remember just thinking like, what I'm going to do. I talked to God. I said, God, I know it's a God. I don't know your name. I don't know where you at. I don't know what you want from me. But I know you want me to do something, and you have to tell me. And it just seemed like every time a door seemed like it was to open it for me. Like when I'm about to reach it, it'll close. Like I had a job. I was working at Walmart, and I had money saved up to get an efficiency. And then next thing you know, it was a weird God. I felt like he was trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do, but I don't think his motives was to give me the place. He kept asking me to come to the house by myself. And this is just an example of things that happened. And, as soon as I feel like I'm about to get something, the door shut. And I'm just like, well, it seems like I can't do anything. Like I bumped into like a wall or something. So I remember my cousin, he died in early 2013. He got hit by a bullet. It wasn't for him. He just so happened to be going to his friend's house. And I just was with him, and a bullet hit him. And I started thinking about life. He was shot.
Wow.
He was shot, and he only had one lung. So it hit that lung, and, he wound up passing.
Oh my goodness.
And I started thinking about life, because I'm like, my cousin was like 25 years old when this happened, and I was like, God, why it wasn't been me? Why, I walked around drinking, and I do a whole bunch of stuff. Why didn't you do me yet? Why am I still here? And that was the question. But I had a dream this night. And by the way, I know I'm trying to cut it short, but I was addicted to drinking. I was alcoholic. Basically, I would drink in the morning. I would drink to get the job interviews. I would drink when I'm stressed. I would drink because it's the way. Like I would just drink for anything. I used to drink. But I had a dream that I was running, and it showed me from where I first lived at, and and I ran all the way to where I used to live with my parents. And when somebody was running on me the whole time, I found $2 in the dream. But when I got to this big tree, I was looked all the way up. The tree was so high, I looked all the way up, and I'm like, why am I running? So I turned back around and I walked back to this house. And when I walked back to this house, it was this white figure standing there. Like I'm talking about, I couldn't see her face, but I know it was like a white suit. And I knew who he was. I'm like, God, I'm praying to you. Like, what's wrong with you? Why you not answering my prayer? Like, I need you. Like, I really do need you. And you sitting here and you're not answering me. I keep asking you who you are, what you want me to do. And I'm fussing at him. And he looked at me and he said, I was deciding to take your life, but I'm going to keep you because you was holding your own. And he's like, you didn't want to be here for a long time. And he was like, I just need you to just have faith. And at that time, I was like, I looked at him and I was like, okay. And I said, thank you for the 2 blessings. And I went in my pocket and I put out the $2. And somewhere like my dad was walking out the door. And I walked behind my dad out the door. So ever since then, I mean, I woke up. When I woke up from the dream, I was scared. I was crying. I called my mom and I told my mom the dream. I went to people I thought that was the most spiritualist, and nobody could tell me anything about my dream. So I went into this. I don't know, is it like a new age thing? Because I started getting close to my cousins, and my cousins was talking about, no, this is God. When you wish things in the universe, you put it out there and it'll come back. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I'm preaching this. I'm telling this to people like, yo, if you put it out there, it'll come back to you. It'll like bounce off the. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. But you bounce off the universe, it'll come back. And I was telling people this, and people was like really like listening to me. And but it seemed like when I started to follow that, my life was getting worse. Like it just seemed like more doors was closing. Like nope, it was to the point where I was jumping from house to house, and my mom had to have my daughter at the time. So I would have to see my daughter. I had to go to my mom's house to see her daughter, which was her boyfriend. And by the way, we didn't get along. It wasn't that we didn't get along. He just didn't like me. I didn't do anything. I guess, based off of the relationship, how they got together, how they came together. I guess he felt like that's her daughter from her other marriage. So he just looked at it as like, I don't trust her around here, because, my mom and him were fooling around like while my mom and my father was together. So I guess that's why I got looked at like that. But, like he didn't like me, but my daughter would have to be there. And like this one time, I used to go, it's this thing called Penn's Landing out here, where it's like boats, it go take you across Jersey. I used to sit out there like near the water and think. I used to sit out there and cry. I used to take myself out for drinks and eat, wings and stuff. But this one day, I thought I seen my husband on the train. I was staring at this guy and I said, this looks like him, but I was afraid to approach him. And a couple of days later, I was looking for my husband. Because I'm like, where is he? Where's this guy at? Let me look for him. So I wound up making a Google account to this. It's called Hangouts or something like that. Because I made an account, and when I Googled him, I seen a link. And he had one, so I clicked on the link, and I see his picture come up. And I said, oh, my God, that's him. So I inboxed him, and then I gave him my number, and I said, you should call me. Let's talk. Let's catch up. So, he wound up calling me back. And his voice still sounds the same. And I said, hello? I'm like, who? I said, who is this? And he was like, oh, stop playing. You know who this is. And I was like, But I asked him, I said, we got to catch up. I got to tell you about my life, what happened and stuff like that. So, I mean, probably 2 weeks in, we were just like talking off and on, about our life and catching up. So he finally asked me, he said, Aniya, I don't want to sound rude, but what do you want from me? And I'm like, what? Because it kind of sounded offensive. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because, I was a hot-headed. I had an attitude, So he said, God send people my way when they need something. And I'm asking you, what are you looking for? And I said, so, I didn't open too much up about that testimony about me talking to God in a dream because people would think you crazy. And I thought people would think I'm crazy. People, shunned me away. Like I was just making this stuff up. Like, oh, it's just a dream. Maybe God wanted you not to go in that area you was running at, stuff like that. So I finally opened up to him about my dream, and he said, what you need me to interpret? I mean, he's clear. Just have faith. And I'm like, what is that? Let me look at the definition right here. And I looked up the definition, and I was like, just don't tell me anything. I don't know how to have faith. And So we talked and talked. He said, have you ever read the Bible? And I said, no. He said, you believe in Jesus? I said, yes. He said, okay, I need you to answer just a few questions. I said, okay. He said, what do you know about Jesus? I was like, he's God. He was like, what about the Father? I said, whose Father? He like, Jesus' Father. I said, Jesus had a Father. I didn't know. So he told me, he said to me, he said, what about his mother? I said, Mary's his mother. He said, okay, what about his father? I said, I don't know anything about this stuff. He said, you know what a disciple is? I said, no. He said, you know what a prophet is? I was like, no. But I really didn't know anything. So he said, I think you need to start reading the Bible. Start from Genesis and work your way up. And I said, okay. So as I was reading, I didn't understand the words. You see thy and thee, and even like,
yeah.
I don't understand this. Like, I need a different version. He said, no, read the King James version. So I downloaded the app and I highlighted things, and then I had told him, I said, look, because I waited like a long time to actually, probably like a week or two, to just actually contact him and ask him to help me understand. I thought he was going to think that I'm hitting on him, and I wasn't. Like, I really got his point. And I said, wow, somebody that really understands me. So he started telling me about, different things like paganism and just the view of the world, and just how precious, I am. He taught me about being modest, and I'm like, I never heard of this stuff, it makes sense, but I never was taught this, like, I never. So after that, I did express to him, I said, I'm not hitting on you. I said, I don't care if we never ever be together, ever. I want to be your friend. I want to know what you know. You know something, and I felt scared, so I would put on a head wrap, and I would like put on big dresses that look unattractive. I didn't want guys talking to me. Like, if I was at the bus stop, like, if somebody was standing behind me, I would just keep looking over my shoulder like this, like, I was clenching onto my pocketbook. I was in the subway, because like one day I had this question for God. I said, God, how many times do I have to pray today? Because I want to be right to God. I want to be. I want you to see me as good, because I kept repenting and crying, like, sorry for drinking, sorry for cursing, sorry for sleeping around, sorry for having to do that. I would just, oh my gosh, it was deep. And it was a billboard on the subway, and said, you can pray 5 times a day. Start with 5 times a day. Set an alarm in your phone till it becomes a habit. And I was like, God talking to me. So, like, on and on, I started talking with my husband, and he was telling me he had like a beautiful ministry. Him and some brothers started the ministry. And I had asked him, what's his testimony? Like, why are you not Muslim anymore? Like, what's going on? And he just like, it wasn't for me. God called me and came to get me out of that. And I'm like, okay, all right. And it was stuff that I didn't understand, so he kind of, left it alone. But he's like, I have a ministry. I want you to meet everybody. But, and there was some stuff that I needed to understand before I came through. So I asked God, I said, I don't want to be, because people started looking at me crazy. My mom kept asking me, are you in the cult? Everybody asked me, was I in the cult? I had stopped eating animals. Mm-hmm. I stopped listening to certain music. It was a lot of stuff I stopped doing. So I asked for just for him to talk to me, to show me, give me confirmation that I'm going in the right direction. I'm gonna tell you something. One night, I had a dream that I was as a child, and I was jumping rope. I had 2 ponytails in my hair like a little girl, and I was jumping rope, and I ended up on the clouds. When I got on the clouds, I seen a brown gate, and I started walking like to my right, and I'm looking through the gate, but like inching over to the right, and I see somebody coming. And I said, excuse me, hello, can I come in? So he opened up the gate. He said, sure. He let me in. And when we walked, it was like this stony ground with stone. And we were holding hands. And somehow the little girl, I don't know where the little girl popped up from, was holding me with a dark-skinned little girl. And we walked all the way, it was a long hallway, to a big brown door. The big brown door had like a door knocker with gold. Like, we didn't even have to knock. It was a loud voice. He said, do we have company? And when he talked, it kind of like rumbled a little bit. And the man who woke me up said, yes, we have company. So when the door opened, the light was so bright that I had to look like this. Like, I had to look, but I was still trying to peek at the light. But what I seen in the light was these 2 big hands. Like, his hands were so big. Like, he was like, oh, my creation.
Sorry, that's just outside. Sorry.
He was like, my creations came to come see me. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Look at you. And
Wow.
when I could see myself, I have a tattoo here. I regret it. But my tattoo was gone. And I have a tattoo on my arms, the sleeve. It was gone.
Wow.
Like, it was like the light changed the color of my hair. My hair was like a brown.
Wow.
My eyes was like a fiery brown, like a brown that like it's not like a brown, like a light, like it's almost like a honey brown, but like a fiery type of honey brown. I really can't explain it. But right after he told me I was beautiful and I should have shown myself, the door slammed shut. And the man who walked me up there said, "Is there anything you want to know before you go back to earth?" I said, "Yes." When it's evil around me, what do I do? He said, "Pray in my name and it will go away." And I was like, he says, "Anything else?" I'm like, and I'm like shaking because I really had a bunch of questions. I just can't get it because I'm nervous at the time. So when he hit me back, I was in the boat, and it was like an ocean. And as I'm in this boat, like I see like sharks coming. Like it was like a paddle boat. The boat wouldn't move until I stuck my hand in the water. So when I stuck my hand in the water, I'm paddling, and then the sharks is coming. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I took my hand out the water, and I'm look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, these sharks. When I took it out, the sharks started swimming back upstream. So I said, I can't do that. And it was like a pole in the water. I jumped on the pole and tied my legs around the pole, and I looked, and I remember just had faith. So I said, okay. I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna get back in the boat. So I got back in the boat. I put my hands in the water. The sharks is coming, and I'm like paddling, like going crazy, water splashing everywhere. And when I get to the other side, I stepped off the boat, and it was like this thin ground, like it was like just fit for my feet, and it was a ramp. And when I looked over the ramp, it was a whole gold city, and I see the sun, like a sunset. And I'm like, oh my gosh! So I woke up from the dream. And I told my husband, because at this time, when I had this, like we done moved in, like we moved pretty fast, But I'm sorry I didn't give dates. I'm trying to like shorten everything because it's so long. But I told my husband, and he had a dream also where his eyes was cracked open and he seen Psalms 117, and it was saying something about praise. But I'm sorry if I got the scripture messed up, but it was in Psalms, and he was like, wow, like, you got to tell the testimony to the church. Now, right there, after all of this stuff, I had a dream that I was going to have 4 children. My husband was holding 2 boys. I was holding 2 girls. As of right now, I have 2 girls and I have 2 boys.
Wow.
And before we even married, I was shown in a dream that we were singing together doing the mamba or the cha-cha, singing cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. So my husband's like, I wonder what that means. And in my mind, I was like, I think we're going to marry. But we ended up after marrying. We did. It was weird because I was studying. I studied because like when we first called me, when I first met back, it was November 2013, November 2nd, because that's my mother's birthday, November 2nd, 2013. And about time when January came, we already knew that we wanted to be together. In fact, he told me that we couldn't we couldn't like come together, like see each other inside the house because of temptation. He was very big on it.
Wow, so my husband was the same.
Yeah, it was like if we have an outing, I need you to dress modest. I need you to, cover up. I need you to, he was like, because like, and we're going to go to the park in public because like, I don't want to be tempted to do anything. We're going to wait till you get baptized so we can, we can actually enjoy doing certain things together. Because like even kissing, we were getting a peck on the forehead. And I was like, okay, this was new to me, but I understood. And, but the experience was beautiful, but I always thank God. And right now, it's weird because I say we all got gifts. We all got work to do in the kingdom. And he gave me my work. I never would have thought that my life would have came out like this. Never. Mm-hmm. I never even thought I would end up with him. I was so in love with him. But what Jesus did, and what God do now, he give me dreams. Talk to me in the dreams. He correct me in my dreams.
Wow.
He tells me Like, for example, I tell everybody, nothing don't happen for a reason. If you in your home and you can't move, and every time you move, something is about to happen, it's because you're supposed to be there. When you meet somebody at the store, when you run into people, and even if it's just a hello, that was meant to happen. But but yeah, but that's pretty much my testimony. We're trying to shorten it up. Um, but it's really weird. Because I can give you some things about how the gift he gave me, if you would like to hear it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So one day, I have a talk with my cousin. He's in the process of the universe. You throw it out there, it'll bounce back. And I said, we had talked about it. I listened to him talk. I never bashed nobody in here what I believe in, but I was listening. And he asked me what I think about a lot of stuff. And I tell him, but I haven't talked to my cousin in months. And one day, I was washing clothes, and I was in the bathroom, and I heard, yeah, you didn't talk to Keith in a long time. And this is how I realized, like, God is in my thoughts. He's in my head. Like, I talk to him in my head, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I haven't talked to Keith in a long time. And he said, well, when you talk to Keith, you let him know that Jesus died on the cross. And I said, I'm not doing that. And me thinking this is my thoughts. I'm like, I'm not doing that because I don't want to push him on, my beliefs on, everybody. And then it turned to, when I left out the bathroom, I didn't talk to my cousin 2 months. The phone rang, it was Keith. And I was like, so when I answered the phone, my eyes are already big. They got super big. I was like, okay, God, no, okay, wait, I'm not ready for this. Okay, I'm going to answer it. And I answered and I said, hello, Keith. I was like, I got to tell you something. So I gave him the rundown of what I was doing, the time I was doing it, the thoughts that happened, and all of that, and it's weird. Like, it was really weird. And another one is, this is something serious. Okay. Me and my husband, we live in an apartment. We tried to move. We tried to move for about 2 years now. Every time we move, somebody need help, a friend need help, we loan them money, and then we come up short, or we don't find a great house that we like, or it's in like a neighborhood we don't like. And one day, I kept having dreams about my neighbor downstairs. I don't know them, I just hi and bye, like, hello, and I had 3 dreams about him, and I told my husband, I said, I keep dreaming about the neighbor downstairs. I think you should talk to him. And my husband said, what do you want me to say to him, Because, like, I'm more so the outgoer. I'll talk to you if I feel like God telling me to do something. Now, since the incident with Keith, I do it. Like, even if I get a thought sometimes, to give that lady some flowers, at the market, just go buy it for her, because she's having a bad day. I'll do it. My husband more so kind of wait. But I told him, I don't know, just say anything to him. Just ask him, just say, hey, it's a nice day outside or something. And my husband was like, no. But I said, okay, I'll pray on it that God will send them to us. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm going to tell you something. The next day, their kids was playing on our door. They were, knocking on our door and running. And I told my husband, they left a little note, and I told my husband, I'll talk to their mom. But then I thought, I said, oh, this is a reason to go talk to them. So my husband said, okay, I'll talk to him when I see him. But my husband, said to him about, the kids playing on the door and stuff. But they didn't say too much. Now, I'm going to tell you something serious that happened. I had one more dream about this man. And in the dream, he said, I need you to talk to my wife. About 2 months later, the police mistaken him for mistaking his identity for somebody and shot him in the head.
Whoa.
Yes. So now I talk to his wife, and she take it hard. So I make sure I try to be there for her any way I can. But yes, like my dreams be like that. Wow. Even to the point where somebody invite me somewhere and they'll say, come on out with me, and I'll say, okay, and they say, no, I have a dream, and I'll be like, oh wait, and I won't tell them that all the time. I'll tell my husband, I'm like, I had a dream not to go, or it's something that tells me don't go, and so I'll be like, okay, so that's why I say I wait for God to give me rest. I wait for Him to tell me, what He want me to do. It was to the point where I didn't even really have friends because of my lifestyle. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool. I have 4 kids, so it's hard to you have to be a part of me. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't go clubbing. I don't do none of that. So, I lost all my friends, my family that I used to hang out with, even my family. I lost a lot of them. And, like, really, my friends are 60 and 70-year-old women. But I prayed to God. I said, God, can you please give me friends like my age, somebody I can relate to, I do, I feel like I do a lot of your work and I love doing God's work, but I was like, I need friends, my husband has friends, and even the women of the church, I mean, it's kind of hard linking up with people. I was like, I need a friend that's like, can be a friend and be right around me, like it's not hard for us to link because, and you know what? He sent me some sisters. He sent me a sister out of Denver. Listen, I don't know. It's like I start talking to people on Facebook and just interacting with people. I have a sister out, or a friend. I call them sisters, but they out South Carolina, and she come up here once a year to come visit me because she's originally from Jersey, which is like not too far from me. So she comes up here, and I'm like, oh, God gave me friends. I got a sister in Baltimore, and it's stuff like that, but I don't know, like I'm thankful, for everything God did.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you came to faith, so, kind of through your husband, your husband sort of explained it to you. You had dreams where, you encountered God and you asked God things, and you still receive dreams now, and God guides you through dreams. It's incredible how God uses different things to connect with different people. Like He told you about your 4 children, and you saw that ahead of time. Like I think I've only had a few dreams that were from God. They're always like incredibly vivid, incredibly like you just know that they're from God. Like when they happen, I think I've only had maybe like 3 or something, but I've had warnings from God in like visions. Like I had same sort of thing, like you get dreams like, oh, you shouldn't go there or whatever. So I mean, again, it's not a lot, but yeah, I've had like sort of like visions, if you know what I mean. Like when praying, it's like, oh, like I understand that like I shouldn't do something or whatever, but I think usually it comes within me, like in my spirit, I just feel it. But God has different ways of connecting with different people. So he's very, very real. There are people that have so many dreams or so many visions, or people get pictures or words for people. And this is what He does. Yes, He is alive and He communicates with us.
This is one thing that happened. When I was pregnant with the child that I don't want to say the child didn't want, but the oldest child, I was pregnant with her, and I remember I couldn't eat meat. Like every time I see meat or I was around it, even if it's cooked, I could smell the rawness of it. And I remember getting talking with my husband. This was like 2 years later. And I'm talking with him, and I asked him, I said, hey, you want some seafood? Because I was like a seafood fan. And he was like, no. And I'm like, do you want some? And this is before we were married. I'm like, do you want some buffalo wings? These buffalo wings, they're so good. And he's like, no. And I'm like, he's like, I don't like them. And I'm like, you want buffalo wings? And I'm like, wow, that's weird. So I'm like, well, what do you want? You want me to make you some chicken or something? He's like, no, I don't eat that. And then they come to find out, like, he didn't eat meat. And I said, I never heard nobody who don't eat meat. You never heard of like a vegan or vegetarian? I was like, no. Like, no, what is that? And he's like, yeah, that's what. But I seen him. I thought about it. I said, you know what? When I was pregnant, I could not eat meat. Like I really couldn't. Like the whole pregnancy, I tried. I tried to eat steak. I couldn't. I tried to eat chicken. I couldn't. So the whole pregnancy, I ate ice and cereal and fruit. That's all I ate. And now when I look back, I'm like, that's freaky. Like that's crazy. So I just look at it like I look at my life before, and I look at it now, and I say the things that I was going through that I thought it was really bad. It turned around. It turned it around for me. Like it helped me in my walk. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it helped me in my walk now. Even with seeing my parents, going through different things, I understand the importance of respecting your husband now the fact that I had seen my mom go through some stuff, and then I actually went through an abusive relationship, and then getting with my husband, I got so much respect. It was to the point where, you know, it was times where I would before we coming from the grocery store, and I'll have bags in my hand, and I'll, you know, and my husband like, put them down, you know, just go in the house, you know, I got the bags, and I'll be like, no, I'm helping you out, and he's like, no, you know, put them bags down, you know, I'm, you know, you gotta let me be the man, and I was like, but I'm helping you, you know, I'm the woman, I'm helping you, but I think about it, and I used to fight with him a lot about it, but now when I see it, I'm like, oh, this is how it is to be, you know, around a real man. And it was crazy because I had, like, I started to not like my father around the time where him and my mom split. That kind of was all his fault. It's your fault, you know. But now, me and my dad have the best relationship. Like, I'm talking about, you know, my dad is in a lot of my dreams. And I always make sure that I call him. I always make sure, you know, just say, Dad, I love you. You know, Dad, you know, I'm here for you. Because I got two other sisters. They don't talk with my dad at all. They're mad at him. Like, they went years without talking to my dad. And I got, you know, I make sure that I stay in contact with my dad. I make sure, you know, me and my mom have a close relationship. And I say, people always say, hey, Naya, you know, you changed. You know, it's weird. Like, what happened? You know, people have so many questions. And I say, God, the more you want wisdom, the more He's going to give it to you. Like, it's how much you want it. And it's like, He give it freely. And I always be looking like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to stay thirsty for you. I'm going to stay thirsty for Christ. Because I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know what's crazy? Because, like, in 2000, I came into following Jesus in 2013, but in 2014 is when I came across your page. I think it was 2014, and you had one video, and I was like, because I was, you know, when you first come in, you be on YouTube looking at people's testimonies, and you be on what else you do? You be on YouTube looking at people's testimonies. You know, you look at people's revelations, and that's what I was doing, and I was like, oh, let me see the Abraham. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to wait for her next video. You kept putting videos out, and it was like one time. It was one video. You said you had thought to go out and feed a homeless and humanitarian. And I remember because right before that video, I told my husband, I said, I think that we gotta go out and go look for some homeless people to feed. And my husband was like, what are you talking about, Naya? Because, like, you know, sometimes you think I'm talking off the wall, when really it's just what's being revealed to me.
Yeah.
And I told him this, and then when I seen your video, I showed him the video, and I said, look, you see what I mean? Like, somebody else think the same way I do. They think they're you know, but I was like, oh my gosh, and I followed you ever since. It was like a big long gap, and I'm like, what happened to Aniya?
Yeah, I moved to China. And then I came back.
Okay, but I was just, oh my gosh. So yeah, like I got like a few people that helped me on walk. You were one of them.
Oh,
and like I also my husband, like, you know, the spirit connect. You know, sometimes you see people who have to meet them, but you see the videos, you're like, oh wow, you know, I'm checking for this person because I really like this person. The spirit moves with this person. This is like my friend.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. So yeah, I thank Jesus is, you know, for just everything. Just everything. Like my life.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, that's really good. And we're all, you know, working everything out, you know, we're all growing and getting more wisdom from God and being led in different ways. Like, you know, I know my daughter, I think my daughter's just woken up, but yeah, I know like different people have been through different periods of like fasting, or like the Daniel fast with no meat, just like fruit and veg, or you know, whatever. I was vegan for nearly 2 years. I do eat meat now, but I'm like I mainly vegetarian, but I don't really do it for spiritual purposes. I never did but I do think that it's healthy to be like vegan or whatever. And obviously the way that things were when God initially created us, before there's a bad connection, bad sound. Yeah, like before the flood, we were just told to eat vegetables, and then after the flood, God said you can eat meat, but yeah, the Bible does talk about not eating meat from strangled animals, I believe, or something. So I'm still working out my position with that, but I was vegan for nearly 2 years, and I think that if eating meat is allowed, we probably eat too much of it, and we probably need to look after the temple of the Holy Spirit a bit more and be healthy and eat more veg. So, I think, I'm still working out things like that. But, I mean, I know different people that have different views on that. And, with it not being a salvation issue, I think we all work out those things in our own walk with God, don't we? And,
Yeah, I was saying, whatever God reveals to you.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's like, everybody's personal relationship is different. Like, I learned that, in this world, when I first came in, I was kind of, why they're doing that? They said it's follow God, they doing that. You can't really do that. I learned not to be that way. My husband's like, you can't do that. But I noticed that everybody's personal relationship with God is different. And it's like you can't it's like I wouldn't be able to explain my personal relationship with God, personal relationship with God with you.
Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, I know what you mean, because I know a number of people that God has told them not to drink coffee as well. So I think that it's different with I think everybody has to work out these things, with fear and trembling, and what one person might be allowed to do is it might not be the case for another person, or later on I don't know, really. Do you see what I mean? So I think it's very important to follow whatever God leads you to do, and in any case, eating a plant-based diet is very healthy. So that's only gonna benefit you in many ways. Sorry, my daughter woke up.
I know, it's where this one time, my husband, just actually being married to a person that God talks to him too. I noticed that we don't get our messages the same. Mm-hmm. So when he might get something, I might get something different, or he might get something and try to explain it to me, and they'd be like, "Wait, what?" But vice versa, and it's just kind of respecting, okay, you got that, and a time will come when you're able to explain it to me, or I'm going to get it too. But when I got that, I always talk to my daughter, because my daughter, she's very smart, and what she say is, we'll be in the market, and sometimes she'll see a person with their face frowned up, and she'll go and say to me, "Mom, that person heart not right. Do you see their face? They ain't smiling." And I'm like, "Shh, don't you say that," So I had to teach her, you don't know what people go through, and that's their personal. That person can have a personal relationship with God. You don't know that,
Yeah.
And I've been telling her that, but you know what? One day I had a dream that, I was telling my Nana about this, and she said, "I think you should teach a class." And I said, "Nah, I don't want to teach a class. That's a big responsibility. Just giving people information, and I don't look at myself as really a teacher, which I know, God used me in the way He do. But I'm I don't want to be a teacher. I just want to be the person that gets the wisdom and have the wisdom and tell the children, or teach the children that my children is where I want to teach." So this is what one day I told God, I prayed to God after she said that, and I had another cousin that told me that. I'm so sorry. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Okay, my phone did something weird. But I had this dream. Um, okay, so that's what that is. I don't know what happened to
It's
my
fine
phone.
on my side.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just
It's okay.
I see myself. So no, what happened was can you see me now still?
Yeah.
You know, okay. My I asked God. I said, "Can you please reveal to me what like this is what you want me to do?" Because a lot of people keep telling me, have a class, teach us. Like people asking me to teach them. I'm talking about non-believers of Christ. Some of my Moor family is asking me this. So I said, I'm like, well, just wait till God tell me. And one night I had a dream that I was standing before a judge. And my aunt was on my right side, and I don't know what it was, but we left the courtroom, and when I went in the house, I started rearranging the furniture in the house. I went upstairs, and I saw two dogs. I saw a big black one, and I saw a big brown one. And I kept trying to go past the dogs to go to this back room. But every time I try to get the dogs, they'll just come out. They weren't trying to bite me. They were just trying to come out. And I'm like, okay, let me tell this person, there's a room to my right. I'm like, let me go in this room and ask them, can you come get the dogs? They out here in the hallway, just acting up. So I went in the room, and there was people smoking and drinking, but they were praying to God. And in the dream, I'm just sitting there looking at them like, why are these, whoa, is that a joint? And hey, is that a drink? I was looking like that. So when I woke up from the dream, it was on my mind. I kept thinking about it. I said, wow, that dream was on my mind. I don't understand what happened. Usually you go through dreams, something crazy will come up. So I wound up going to wash clothes that day. And as I was washing clothes, somebody apartment door opened. A brown dog. The brown dog was first. The brown dog runs up to me in the laundry room, and I said, "Oh, get your dog, get your dog, get your dog!" And I had the laundry bin, it's a bit full. And the little girl, she's just a little girl. She's like 10. She with this big dog. She walks out the laundry room, and I'm like, "Wow, I didn't know that dog was that big. I know that they had an animal, but I didn't know it was that big." So as I was about to walk out the laundry room, somebody else's apartment door opened. A big brown dog, the black dog, walked up to me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I said, what? So I'm like, okay. So I go in the apartment, and I just had a dream about these two colored dogs in the dream coming at me.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, Lord, first let me get myself together. I said, I don't know what you want me to talk about, what you want me to do. I don't know if this Satan trying to set me up. Does he want me to play like a teacher so I can misinform people? I ain't doing this. You got to give me, I said, give me another sign. So I talked to my Nina on the phone, and she said, hey, did you start that class yet? And I said, or did you start planning out that session I asked you about? I said, nah. I said, I didn't do it. And she asked me, what are you scared of? And I started running things. I said, I don't want to become big-headed. I don't want to, mislead people. I don't want to, I'm scared. Like, I don't, this is a big job to do. So right after that, she said, well, let me go. Let me eat my cherry vanilla ice cream, and I'll call you back. I said, okay. So I called my dad, and I said, hey, Dad, what you doing? He said, nothing. I'm watching a football game. And I'm like, okay. He said, shoot. I said, what? He's like, I got cherry vanilla ice cream in the freezer, and I haven't ate it. It was sitting in there for a week. And I'm like, cherry vanilla ice cream. Wow, Lord, cherry vanilla ice. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I'll do it. I did the class, and it was better than I thought. Like I actually allowed him to tell me the subject, and it was like I did two so far, and I feel like he's telling me to do another one because I actually had another dream recently about an ark. I was on the ark, but he said it was the sins that women fall in, and it was a personal relationship with God. So I said, okay, I can talk about these things because I do understand that everybody's personal relationship with God is different, and everybody needs one. And the stronger you have one, the stronger, the more you'll understand in the ways that he talks to you and, how he works. And everybody's relationship is different. So I said, okay, and I was telling everybody this. And, I was so nervous. And I'm like, I wonder if people going to receive me, if they're going to reject what I say. But I just trust God, and like these dreams, it just be like this, and a lot of times, I don't know, but I just thank God, and I just look at the world, like we just breezing through, we breezing through when we just, just only for a moment, like it's everything is an illusion, the world we see, the TV, and all of that, it's just focus on God,
That's it.
That's all I just focus on God, and what I think He want me to do, and pray about it, and could get my kids ready, and just I just I just thank Him,
That's it. No, definitely. Definitely. This life is very short, so we just have to listen to God and do what He says, and He's very good to us.
So good, like. But yeah, so.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Anything I like to, okay. All right. It's one thing I want to share because I got so many dreams, and it's like I didn't even plan to kind of like organize what I'll say because it's so big, But okay, I just had this dream, and I wanted to say this, it stood out to me, but I had this dream that I was at this place. It was so big, like a concert, right? And the front room was so big that if you wasn't paying attention closely, you'll miss the steps. The steps was about this big. That's how big the room was. It was big and wide. So when I reached the back of the steps, I walked up the steps. It was like to the dining room. And the dining room was the same, but it wasn't as long as the first room, but it was like the same. Now, when I looked to my left, it was a door and like a room. And when I opened the room, it was like a what you call it? It was an apartment, and the carpet was white, the doorknobs was gold, and it was 3 rooms in there, and I lived there. So when I came out and I looked all the way in the back, I said, "Oh wow, it's another part back there." I didn't walk back there. It was a window, and it was like steps you go up, but you go down, and it's a ledge you pull up. And I'm gonna tell you how I found out that the back is like that. When I walked to the front, I see my aunt in this place, and I said, "Oh, hey!" I'm like, "Hey, aunt!" I'm like, "Auntie, are you staying? Like, are you going to stay? And help me clean up a little bit? Because the front room, I know it was animals on this place, like in this thing with animals. I didn't see them though, but it was like I don't know, we were just junk. But I said, "Oh no, I might stay." And she I said, she was like, "Show me around. This place is nice, it's big." So I showed her everywhere I walked in. It was another room that I didn't see that I went there in the basement. It was long and big and wide. It was, and the floor, it was hardware. Everything was hardware. The wall, the top part down, everything was hardware, like wood. Now, when we get back to the front, there's a window on my right, and my aunt went down the steps, and I said, "Hey, auntie," I said, are you staying?" And she said, "Oh no, no, I ain't gonna stay." And I looked out the window to my right, and I kept staring, and I'm like, It's a disaster coming. It's a disaster coming. I said, it's storms. If you want to go out there and then, she said, "Don't worry about me. I'll make it. Don't worry about me." And I'm looking and I'm like, and I looked back out the window. It was raining real hard. I said, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yes." So I said, "Okay." So I walked down the step to the room she was in. And as I was walking, I seen, the neighbor I was telling you about that lived underneath me, right? She said to me, she was standing there checking her pockets and her pocketbook, and I said, "Excuse me." I said, "Do you want to stay here? It's storming out there." She said, she didn't answer me. She's checking her pockets and her pocketbook. I said, "Listen," I said, "Is your house strong enough for the storms to come?" And then she didn't answer me. She's still searching her pocketbook. She had papers in her hand, and I said, "Okay, is your house built like the ark?" And I was shown, I was lifted up in the dream. And I was shown the house was like very long, or it wasn't a house, but this place was very long, and it was a boat. It was so big and long. So when I got there, when I woke up from the dream, this is what I do. So people don't know I'm lying. I tell a few people, Because when stuff play out, I don't like to say, oh, yeah, I had a dream about this, and I didn't tell nobody. I like to tell you the dream or tell somebody the dream, and then so you can see it play out in the life. I always like to witness. And I wound up going to calling my mom on the phone. She was one of them. You know what my mom told me?
What?
She said, Aniya, I had the dream on the Tuesday. She said, Aniya, I had the same dream Monday. She was like, yeah, the window on your right? I said, yeah. She said, your aunt was in there, right? And I said, yeah. She was like, I asked your aunt where she's staying too, and she told me she was going to make it. She said, it's a room on your left, right? Like, if you walking back towards in the dining room part, it's the room on the left. I said, yeah. She said, I was in here. I said, but that's where I lived at. She was like, I was visiting. And it was like we was going to a hotel, and that was where I was visiting. I didn't live there. She said, wait, did you see a room all the way in the back? I said, yeah. It was a room in the back, but I didn't walk back there. She said, me neither, but I can tell you what's back there. I said, who was back there? She said, it was steps that went like this. And then she said, it was steps that went up, and then it was like, when you go down the step, it's a latch that you open, and it's to another apartment. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, where do you think he said? And she said, she was like, I think that, I don't know where he was at. What do you think? I said, well, she's like, well, with your two questions, it sounds like an ark. And I'm like, wait, let me process this. So I prayed, and then I turned around and I asked God, I said, okay, so what do you want me to do with this information? Do you want me to do another class? Or do you want me to just take this as a warning for myself that storms are coming your way? You need to stay covered and make sure that you use the tools that I gave you to stand the storm that's going to come. Because I look at it as like, okay, if Noah had the ark, Noah was told how to form the ark, and he used those tools, and he survived the destruction that came. It's the same thing with us. This was what came to me. But I looked at it as that, like, okay, storms is coming your way. You need to take the tools that I gave you to stand in it. And I always go back to the fruit of the Spirit and the armor of God.
Yes.
That's the two things I go to. But I was like, wow. So, I still don't have a deep understanding on it because my mom had the dream. My mom dreamt of the same thing. You know what's funny? She said when she looked out the window, it was burning.
What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
She told me like when she seen the man, like when she looked out the window,
she saw a man.
She seen the man with white hair.
Whoa!
And I was like, oh my gosh! I was like, I didn't see that. I just saw the storms. Like, it was raining so hard that it looked white outside. It was blurry. You couldn't see past.
And you both had the exact same dream.
In the same place. She had it Monday, I had it Tuesday, and she didn't tell me her dream until I told her.
That
and
is
then she said,
crazy.
oh yeah, I had that dream too. And I'm like, what are you telling me? But the difference between our dreams is like, I asked the questions in the end. I asked, well, is your house built strong enough for the storms to come? And then the second question was, if so, is it built like the ark?
Wow.
In the dream, I was asking the woman downstairs in my apartment building, and you know what? I talked to her more. I told her this dream, and I told her don't avoid it. And you know what? She laughed and said, that sounds just like me. I'm always looking for my keys and through my purse and my pocket because I'm always losing something. And I told her, I said, listen, forget that. Listen to the two questions, and I invited her to my church, and she came once. Praise God, she came.
Wow.
That she came, and I just never forget. Like, I wasn't so bad for my place, but I never forget that I had that dream to talk to her. It just before her husband died, he said, "Can you please talk to my wife?" And he just wound up passing by mistaken identity. And I think of that, and I be like, I have a purpose. It's greater than what I know. It's to the point where stuff like that happen, I just cry because I be like, God, why you choose me? I'm not a perfect person. You chose me, and I feel good that you chose me. But it's deep.
It's because your heart wants to hear God and wants to do what He says. So, God loves that kind of person, and that's amazing. Like, God's really chasing after that neighbor of yours as well. because, you know, you keep having dreams about her and stuff. So God really, like, is trying to chase after her, you know. So that's amazing.
You know what? The other week I had another dream that somebody tried to break into her apartment. What they did, and they was asking for something. And I was upstairs listening in my apartment building. I said it was two guys. It was, you know, and I called her and I said, be careful about that company key, you know, because I had a dream. Now, the other night, she had to call me because she said sometimes she just sit in her car and think about her husband. And, you know, she just go for a drive and she'll just park up and sit there, but she would have to go for a drive. And it was a weird man in our building just sitting on our steps. And our complex is locked. You can't really get in. And she said, she texted me and said, be careful because it's a strange man. And I'm like, and I looked and I'm like, where he at? And she's like, he's just sitting on the steps in our complex. And I'm like, well, if he stay there, I'm going to call the cops. You know, we don't live here. You know, we know who live here. So what happened was she approached him. She went in her apartment and she came out and she said she asked him like, you know, are you looking for the people that live, you know, at this house over here? And he said, yeah, that's my brother's house. And you know, so she said, well, how about you ring the bell outside? And he'll hear you. He said he don't know which bell it is. She was trying to show him he didn't want to see it. But in fact, when she left out, he was following her. He followed her to the car. And,
oh my goodness!
About my car. I just had a dream. I told her, and I said, didn't I just tell you I had a dream, girl? I said, okay, listen. Do you want me to send my husband to come out and meet you because it's late. It's 11 o'clock at night. What are you doing out anyway? I just felt so sad. I just needed some air. I need to go for a drive. I'm just thinking about my husband. I said, well, you think about your husband. If you want somebody, call me.
Wow.
So, it just, you know, it was scary. But he stood by her car, by her trunk, and he came by the passenger side of the door, and he stood there. And she, you know, she had her windows rolled up, and then she said he eventually walked up. So I told her, be careful, you know, even if it's 8 o'clock at night, you know, the sun is going down. You know, if you need help with bags or with the kids, you know, call me. So you don't need to be alone or let me know so I can, you know, look in or just anything, you know. It's
So that's amazing how God is using you then and, you know, to protect her and to give her, you know, different words. That's amazing as well. Listen, I better go. Because this little one really wants to go to sleep now. But thank you so much for coming on and sharing your testimony and so many testimonies about how God has spoken to you in different ways. And again, just a real demonstration of the fact that God is real and it is a proper relationship and He does communicate with us and He does change us and He does shape us. And we're constantly growing and He's teaching us and it's a real living relationship with God. So thank you very much. Okay.
You're welcome.
See you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Good night.